Today's Go Math 7-8 and we are talking about terms. Terms. All right, so if I had a problem such as 7n plus 5, which was in our last video, right? 7n plus 5, I'm really looking at two different things. This is important because 5 and 7n cannot go together. A lot of students look and they go, well, I can add 7 and 5. But you have to realize that 7 is not its own number. 7 is how many n's that I have. So whatever n is, I have 7 of them. So even if I looked at this as 7 plus 5, can those two things go together? No, because n's are not 5s and 5s are not n's. So this 7n is actually its own thing. It's a variable. Variables can't go together. What you're looking at here is this coefficient that we have, this 7n. So I have two separate things, this one and this one. Those are terms, and our terms are typically separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So what things go together, right? I have my terms here. If I had like 7n plus 6n plus 5, I see this parentheses here, that's one term. That's together because it's in the parentheses. So why am I saying this? Well, if I took this same idea and I clean it up a little bit, and we're talking about these terms, and I have the expression 7n plus 6n plus 5, what I actually find is that n's can go together, right? I have 7 n's, I have 6 n's, and I have 5. So think of this, I like to give my variables an identity. So let's call these bowls of noodles, N for noodles, right? So I have 7 bowls of noodles, and I have 6 bowls of noodles, and then I have $5. Well, dollars are not noodles. I don't want to eat dollars, and I can't typically pay for things with noodles, so they don't go together. But if I'm looking at a table, I've got 7 bowls of noodles and 6 bowls of noodles. Those two things are the same. So I would just say how many bowls of noodles I have. Well, 7 plus 6 is 13n plus 5. They can go together. This is combining like terms. So another way to think of this, if I sold apples on the side of the road, I'm thinking of a career change. And on my table here, I've got 5 apples. I've got some $10 bills and a $5 bill. Let's see if I can quick draw you up something. And then over here I've got 6 more apples. Well, I'm standing on the side of the road and this thing is a mess. How can I put it together and organize my table? Well, I could look at these and I could move them over here. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's call them 6 apples. And over here I have 5 apples. And I've got $10 and $5. So I've got 4 terms here, 5a, 10, 5, and 6a. I organize my table. I move these over here, and let's call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stack them up neatly, take all of my money, and move it over here into one pile of $15. Now I have a nice organized table. What I did algebraically is I took 5a and added it to 6a. A's can go together, B's can go together, C's can go together, but A's can't go with B's because they're not the same letter. C's can't go with Z's, right? So I would go A, 5A. Do I have any other A? I do, 6A. Put them together and I get 11A. And then I have 10 and 5. So those two are done. 10 plus 5, they can go together, and I get 15. So then you see right here, I have 11 apples and $15. And that looks much nicer. It's easier to work with than this big, long equation. So in our book, it looks something like this. A baseball cap costs $9, and logo patches cost $4. Shipping is $8 per order, so the expressions, start with the expression, start with the expression, start with the expression, start with the expression, start with the expression. The expression I have is 9n plus 4n plus 8, and that gives the cost in dollars of buying caps with logos for n players. I don't know how many players are on my team, so that's my variable, that's n, the number of players. From there, I know that every single hat I buy is $9, and every hat needs a $4 patch. Well, we can clean this up and just say, what things can go together? We're going to combine like terms. And I would see that 4n can go with 9n, and that gives me 13n's plus 8. 13n plus 8, and that erased a little bit, is my answer. So when I'm combining like terms, that's all I'm doing. I'm not solving for n yet. I just want to get it together. So I take this long equation and simplify it. One of the properties of mathematics they're going to ask you about is simplifying like terms. So again, as you see it, anything in our equation that we can put together that are the same, they're like terms, make your life easier. Simplify it, right? Just remember that when you have 9n and 4n, that's not 9 plus 4, that's 9n's and 4n's. So they can go together, but they can't go with 8.